Hello everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So the movie of today is Catwoman from 2004. The movie featuring the sexiest superhero character of all time. That is no hyperbole, and I could probably make a very long dissertation of how fucking hot Halle Berry is in this movie, but I'm not going to do that because we have a lot of horrible movie to go through. This is one of these legendarily awful movies that have so many bad things going on for itself that you can actually watch this one just for the shits and giggles of how bad it is, how insane it is, how much unintentional humor there is in this one. And in short, this movie is dog ass. Speaking of ass, Halle Berry sure has one, and it is awesome. Not quite as awesome as Thor in Thor Love and Thunder. Call me Chris, we'll split a bottle of wine and see what happens. But we are going to talk today about what I would consider to be maybe one of the single worst comic book movies of all time. It's not quite as bad as Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance or that Captain America movie from the very early 90s, but it's pretty damn close to it. And let's see what the famous turkey from 2004 can give us. This is Catwoman. Kyle is a very shy woman with low self-esteem that is working at this cosmetic company run by Sharon Stone and the Merovingian from Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions. And she doesn't have any fun things happening in her life, doesn't have that much friends or seeing any hot guys or something like that. They did their best to try to make Halle Berry look unattractive in a movie. It's a bit difficult. It's a bit like trying to make a plate of Wagyu beef look unappealing. It's tough, you can do it. I just think it is a bit overworking. They tried their hardest with plus size ugly clothes and bad haircuts and stuff like that. It was a tough job and they sort of failed at it. But anyway, so Selena discovers that the company that she works for and Sharon Stone is evil and that they are selling cosmetics that will ruin your face. I see about 1 million lawsuits coming out of this, but we'll let that one slide for now. So, they try to kill her and she falls out of a window. This is basically the same thing as they did in the movie Batman Returns. A much better movie that I would much rather watch than this one. But anyway, is that the origin of Catwoman? I don't know that much about the origin of certain comic book characters, so maybe this is how the Catwoman character actually comes to life in the comics. So in that case, bravo, you did one thing correct. And she's brought back to life with some horrendously awfully CGI animated cats that breathe on her, which somehow made her spring back to life. But now she is a Catwoman. And not only is she a Catwoman, she starts behaving like a cat also. I think they kind of missed the whole thing that she's not supposed to act like a cat in the same way that, Spider-Man is not supposed to act like an actual spider, but this is so stupid. And the transformation from her shy self to her super sexy Catwoman persona, makes her go through different scenarios that we saw before, where she handled it like, oh, I'm gonna go away now and be shy about it, to I'm gonna take charge now and be awesome about it. So for some reason, the exact same things happening, 20 minutes after they happened initially with totally different outcomes. And I was just, can we move the fuck on? Then she tries to be this crime-fighting vigilante sort of a character, and one of her first assignments as this thing is to stop a jewel robbery. A jewel robbery taking place at night where all the jewelry is on display and full on, light and stuff like that, which I guess no jewelry in the entire world has, but we'll let that one slide. I'll meet the filmmakers halfway. Then we are treated to a line that she says with the utmost sincerity, which made me belly laugh so hard. It took me minutes upon minutes to get my composure together and actually rewind to see that I saw this correctly. She says, and I'm not kidding, "Are you robbing this place? Perfect idea." And then she goes to war with him, and I was like, oh my God. It's such an incredibly silly line. It's right up there with, they're eating her, and then they're gonna eat me. Oh my God! My suit just turned black. I kinda like it, but I think it is something bad. I did not hit her. It is bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh no, not the bees! No, not the bees! My eyes! Agh, 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 agh. Your scent, it's like a drug to me. You're like my own personal brand of heroin. It smells like Thai food in here. Have you guys been fucking? I have orgasms. Yes, wargasms. When the bread lands jelly side down, that means the devil is near. It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble. Before you even learn to spell your name, I was trained to conquer galaxies. And other terrible movie lines have now been joined by this stinker. She also spends some time and having bad chemistry together with a sort of relationship that she's having with a cop that sort of is in love with her Catwoman persona, but really not with her. I don't think you should be a cop. You have absolutely no intuition at all. You mean, look at them. How the fuck do you not see that it is the same person? Started to sound like Mickey Mouse there for a second. Anyway, so Benjamin Bratt is, trying to figure out what's going on here, and she's also trying to see what Sharon Stone has for evil intentions on her mind and stuff like that. So the movie is a mess. It's boring. It's stupid. There are lots of sequences where really nothing happens. She's just doing things like playing basketball and doing the real fast. And you're like, come on, can't we get this thing rolling? And when we're having action sequences, they are rapidly cut and badly choreographed. And we're also having bad CGI when, the stunt woman that is a digital effect, jumping from building to building, it looks bad. It looks like a semi-okay video game. We have a haphazard story that makes no sense, and to top it all off, a terrible climax where we get to learn that Sharon Stone has a superpower. The single dumbest superpower I have ever seen in any movie. If you have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you have not seen this movie, you have to see it to believe it, because it is so stupid. The movie ends in a weirdly flat way, and we didn't care if they made a sequel about it or not, because it was just, it's ending now. They tried to work in some mythology into this movie where, Halle Berry is visiting this academic who wrote, thesis about it and stuff like that, and that thing maybe could have worked. But then Halle Berry got obsessed with catnip. And that sequence is so unintentionally hilarious that whatever they could have built up from that sequence is immediately nullified by how stupid that was. The action sequences suck, there is no suspense, there's unintentional comedy, there are terrible side characters, and the only character I was into was Lambert Wilson, the Merovingian guy. He's always fun to see because you never quite know what he's going to do. He has just this smug face that is perfect for a villain, but his character is sort of sidelined in the worst way possible and is completely nullified, so thanks for that. This is almost a 100% turkey, hated by the fans, hated by the critics, bombed at the box office, a low score on IMDb. Usually they only have, maybe 2 or 3 of this, but this is one of the few movies, including Cats, maybe I'm seeing a pattern here, that actually covered all 4 of them. This is the type of movie that is so bad that you have to see it just to believe how they somehow wrote this on paper, that they somehow got this approved by the studio and filmed it. I mean, what must Halle Berry thought when she walked home at night and thinking about what she had done for today? And I was thinking, well, today I got a car to gently bump into my ass, and then I played some street basket with some children in sped up fashion. I am most definitely in a bomb right now. Halle Berry is a difficult actress in a sense because she has put out a couple of okay to good performances, but the most of the things she has done has been quite bad. She needs a good, experienced director who can get the best out of her. She has put on a couple of good performances, but then we have all the Dark Tides and the Die Another Days and the Last Boy Scout and stuff like that. And those things are just horrible to watch. apart from Halle Berry oogling, you don't really have anything good to look forward to in this movie. By the way, when I saw the reveal of her outfit, that was sort of, she's gonna wear that? It looked like something like a bunch of horny 12-year-old boys had thought up together in their basement. But apparently it is based on an actual, you know, thing from the comics. And I was like, that's actually a thing that existed with the chains and the tear-off and all that thing. It looked so impractical, it looked so phony. The fact is that if you're looking at the movie like Batman Returns, a great movie, a fantastic movie, that I would much rather watch than this one, the costume that Michelle Pfeiffer had in that thing was a bit unpractical maybe, but it looked cool. And it also looked like something she could have, you know, made herself in, you know, the weird transition sequence when she trashes her apartment and becomes Catwoman. I think that sequence, by the way, is very psychologically interesting, well played, and actually fascinating. So that is how to do it. This is not how. Terrible story that makes no sense. Check. Hokey acting. Check. Horrible writing. Double check. This movie still musters up somehow 8 points because how unintentionally terrible it is. I still can't give it anything less because I do have seen some movies over the years in the superhero genre that is actually even worse than this one. And as I've been saying, I've seen so many movies that are so horrible that this one still kind of comes up with some form of dignity. And there was a sequence or two where I was kind of intrigued to see where they were going, but in the end the story was just so horrendously bad, and the finish, well, it sucked a fat one. So I'll see you next time from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching, thank you very much!